Welcome to today's edition of African Press Review on Global LTV. We begin in Cameroon with the Post Weekender. The Post Weekender newspaper focuses on the much talked about 𝐆𝐋𝐎� corruption scandal as it features a statement made by barrister Akere Muna. The paper titles, "The culprits are within Cameroon." More on this on page 9 of the Post Weekender. We stay with the Post Weekender newspaper, which features an article about Cameroonian MMA fighter Francis Ngannou to face Renan Ferreira in PFL debut on October 19. Details about the encounter on page 6 of the Post Weekender newspaper. Still in Cameroon, Municipal Update newspaper focuses on the Anglophone crisis ongoing in the northwest and southwest regions of the country as it captions, "Atrocities in northwest and southwest, Norway vows to cooperate in prosecution of Ayabacho." You can read more on this on page 4 of Municipal Update newspaper. Away from Cameroon, now let's go to Uganda, where the Daily Monitor features new 4-step land titling. The paper captions, "Breaking the red tape, the land registration steps which are currently being piloted in Karamoja sub-region were developed after a benchmarking study of the Georgian land registration model in Eastern Europe." More on this on page 4 of the Daily Monitor newspaper. Away from Uganda, the Daily Times in Nigeria focuses on the demonstrations. The Daily Times newspaper captions, "Tinubu's reforms aimed at addressing past mistakes," a statement from the information minister. The paper goes further to reveal that the Nigerian president is determined to implement reforms that will drive sustainable growth and improve quality of life for all citizens. You can read more on this on page 2 of the Daily Times newspaper. Still in Nigeria, the Punch newspaper captions, "Hunger protest loses steam as DSS grills 7 foreigners. Police crackdowns halt protest. US-UK demand dialogue. Northern governors relax curfew." The paper goes further to say Sanusi blames Kano looting on intelligence failure. Tension rises as soldiers shoot boy in Kaduna in northern Nigeria. You can read more on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Still on the ongoing protest in Nigeria, Vanguard newspaper equally weighs in on foreign involvement in the demonstrations as it titles, "Steer clear of our international affairs, federal government warns foreign powers." The paper goes further to say they are probing 7 Polish nationals arrested over Russian flags in Kano, northern Nigeria. The paper equally reveals thugs harass journalists, beat up protesters in Rivers State as the army arrests a soldier whose warning shot killed 16-year-old boy in Zaria, Nigeria. You can read more on this on page 5 of Vanguard newspaper. Away from Nigeria, now let's take you to Kenya with the Daily Nation newspaper. The paper focuses on Ruto-Raila alliance as it captions, "Ruto-Raila deal faces litmus test." The paper goes further to say President William Ruto's broad-based government, in which he has co-opted ODM leader Raila Odinga, faces its first test today as the youth plot a fresh round of demonstrations in their continued push for governance reforms. The Kenyan president has once again warned the protesters to shun violence, while the US has waded into the matter. Details on page 2 and 3 of Daily Nation newspaper. We have come to the end of this review, ladies and gentlemen. Keep watching programs on Global LTV.